All right, I'm gonna check the feed. It says we live. Shalom, bear with us.
Shalom.
All right, we live, man. Hey, shalom, shalom out there.
Yep, we on.
All right, we are the brothers of Great Millstone Charlotte, back at you with another live lesson through the Holy Spirit of Ruach HaKodesh. And before we get started with this live lesson, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodesh. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught us his truth. Double salutations to all you Akim out there laboring in the house of David, the elect, that's pushing his word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom to you, brothers.
Shalom
to the elect. All right. Back at you with another live lesson through the Holy Spirit of Ruach HaKodesh. The title of the show here is Babylon has been given over to demons, spiritual warfare, man. We got a clip we want to play just to show you all that this spiritual warfare, you know, as scriptures talk about in Ephesians 6 and 10 on down, that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, spiritual wickedness in high places, man. All right. So this war, this spiritual war is very real in what we're involved in, man.
That's
all right. We just want to talk about that. You know, Lord willing, this lesson is edifying, man. Just the idolatry that this place has been given over to, because it tells you in Revelation 17 that Babylon is known as Mystery Babylon, the mother of harlots. Right. But we're going to talk about all that. You know, Priest, you can go ahead and bring it out, you know.
Because pretty much, man, what we wanted to talk about, because it's a video that we're about to show where you have this, I guess he's like a Catholic priest or whatever, and he was going into how America has been given over to several, you know, demonic spirits, and he you know, said them by name, and pretty much the point of us bringing this video out as well as this picture you see on the screen is to show you that these demons that are plaguing this world right now are the same demons going all the way back to prior captivities that were always a stumbling block for Israel, man.
All right.
These damn different idols were the constant reasons why, you know, we fell into different captivities, because we forsook Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua for these idols. So they're repackaged with new names, but they're the same, you know, demonic spirits, which ultimately go back to satanic worship. And so these devils that run society, they have fooled people into thinking that you know, are doing these things off of your own, you know, ill-advised intent, but actually he's coercing you into doing high-level, you know, demonic worship, man.
Yeah, that's right. So let's play that video then, right? Go ahead, play that video. Excuse me. So listen to what he says as a Roman Catholic priest, and he breaks down basically these top level demons that control this current society, that control this government.
After that, then what happens is the culture, the next three demons show up. The first is Asmodeus. He's the demon of homosexuality in men. Then there's the demon of Leviathan, which is the demon of homosexuality in men, but of the masculine kind. These are the women who are heavy on the heels, we would say. Okay. Then,
yeah. Those big 6'8", 6'9" niggas running around with fucking dress and makeup and lipstick on. That type of shit.
Right.
As we just got through Pride Month, right?
That's right.
Very demonic time.
After that, then what happens is the culture, the next three demons show up. The first is Asmodeus. He's the demon of homosexuality in men. Then there's the demon of Leviathan, which is the demon of homosexuality in men, but of the masculine kind. These are the women who are heavy on the heels, we would say. Okay. Then there is the spirit of Lilith, which is the more seductive form of female homosexuality. After those have gained ascendancy in a culture, which, by the way, if you look at the cultures, every single culture is pushed in this direction.
See how, and that shows you as soon as you said that, the first thing you thought about is what? Black culture.
That's right.
Right. Them same demons, right? That same filthy type of lifestyle is practiced within so-called black culture, man.
Right.
All right.
After those have gained ascendancy in a culture, which, by the way, if you look at the cultures, every single culture is pushed in this direction. Okay. So historically, not just ours, but historically, this is always the progression. Once you have fornication, you end up with contraception, and then the upshot of that is homosexuality and then abortion. Baphomet is the fifth one, and he's the demon of child sacrifice, abortion. In our culture, think of this. They shot down the fornication laws, and so they delivered us into the hands of Baal. Then they had Roe versus Wade and delivered us into the hands of Baphomet. And then they allowed gay marriage. And so now our country politically is in the hold of the top 5 demons in hell other than Satan. They delivered us into...
See? Top 5 demons, man.
Right.
And that's what's engulfed. And when the scriptures tell you that, matter of fact, let me get that up. Let's go to Isaiah 60. That's that gross darkness, man.
That's right.
It's Isaiah 60:1, and it reads, Isaiah chapter 60, verse 1, it says, "Arise and shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is risen upon thee." All right, starting with the prophets. All right. Verse 2, the point, it says, Isaiah 60:2, "For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness to people." All right. So these people are in gross darkness. These people are plagued with demons. Right. This is why you see the society in the shape that is in. All right. The filth, the abominations that's being pushed here, sin, transgression. All right. This rebellious spirit against the Lord, this anti-Messiah spirit that's heavily engulfed, America.
That's right.
It says, "For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee." All right. So you got it, priest,
All right. So just going into that gross darkness, man, because what you are, if you have the eyes to see, you can see that there is heavy demonic enchantment that is being cast upon you people. Now, we mentioned earlier how we just came out of Pride Month. And Pride Month, when you break down that word, it's been brought out. You take the first few letters and the last few letters was pretty much conform the word. I believe it's prit, which when you break that down, going into the meaning of that, it goes into the casting forth. And so they're casting forth heavily demonic spirits, as hearing the priest break down, because what he was saying as far as the different laws that Esau has been passing, he did away with the fornication laws. He allowed, all 50 states to legally marry, the Moes. All right. He did away with Roe v. Wade. These are all satanic customs that were done in the ancient world to pretty much, bring forth rituals, man, And so with that being said, you people are participating in these things, not even realizing what you're doing. All right. So I had a quick precept.
You got it.
This is Ephesians chapter 6. I'm going to start at verse 10.
That's right.
It says, "Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil." Because the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is what protects us from these enchantments that Esau was putting up daily, man.
That's right.
To tell you, I think that's in Exodus, where it says there's no enchantment against Jacob.
Numbers.
Numbers, Slocky. Can you get that real quick, Baba Kushar?
Yep, I got you. Bear with me.
Because part of having the armor of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is protecting us from those enchantments, man.
Yep.
Because see, 2/3 they don't have the covering of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. So those enchantments, they get to them. This is why you see 2/3 of our people, heavily engulfed in these satanic ways, man.
Right. It's the book of Numbers 23 and verse 23. And it reads, it says, "Surely there is no enchantment against Jacob, neither is there any divination against Israel. According to this time, it shall be said of Jacob and Israel, what would have God wrought."
Right. Because, like I said, man, the whole armor of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is what protects us from those enchantments that these devils send up. Because as we know, these devils send for these different curses and enchantments upon our people daily.
Yes.
All right, they got left hand, shamans, priests, whatever you want to call them, that pretty much day and night, all they do is just send up, these curses upon our people,
Yep.
But the spirit has protected the elect to where we don't fall victim to these curses that they send up upon us, man.
Yeah, he has a priesthood. Esau has a priesthood on the left hand side, which consists of these magicians and warlocks, these divinators, these diviners, if you call them, soothsayers. There you go, soothsayers, which goes back to predicting the future and all of that. They're tapping into those different variations of those different means, right? Mediums, right? I got a precept for you, but I want to read this in the NLT. This is number 23 and verse 23 again in the NLT. It says, "No curse can touch Jacob. No magic has any power against Israel. For now it will be said of Jacob, what wonders God has done for Israel." All right, and this is dealing with the elect first and foremost, man.
That's right.
All right. If it were possible, right? The scripture say if it were possible that they would deceive the very elect, Let me get this for you real quick too. This is the book of Psalm. Okay, let's go. Let me pull it on the screen, Salakia. All right, this is Psalm 144. Okay. This is Psalms 144 and verse 7. And it reads, it says, "Send thy hand from above, rid me and deliver me out of great waters from the hand of strange children." All right, those strange children are those Edomites.
Yep.
Okay. Verse 8, it says, "Whose mouth speaketh vanity, and their right hand is a right hand of falsehood," man. All right, going back to deception. All right, because remember this, your right hand is supposed to represent power. So Esau's power, or his right hand, if you will, is falsehood. All right, it's deception, witchcraft, man, sorcery. All right, that's part of his that's also part of his sword as well, his blessing. Okay, this witchcraft that he's mastered, man, because he's tapped in. He's fully tapped into the left hand side.
Right.
And this is why we live in Babylon, man. Babylon the Great, man. Okay, because the establishment of this place was set up off of witchcraft.
Yeah.
All right. Idolatry or whatnot.
And this whole country is ran by Freemasons, ran by Luciferians. There's different sects of Satanism that Esau participates in, man.
Right.
And you Jakes unknowingly, take part on it as well. Because you have Jake that's into Freemasonry, the Prince Hall Freemasons, thinking that they're a righteous form of that. But no, you're still witches. Because Freemasonry, that goes into sorcery and witchcraft, man. So
I wanted to Salaki, go ahead.
I was gonna say that this just shows you on how deep this shit goes, man. Because a lot of Jake, when they see these different things being done, these different laws being passed, it's benign to them to think of how deep this shit really go, man. But this, like you said, this is heavy, spiritual warfare against these demonic entities, man. Yeah. Now I wanted to, Salaki, I didn't mean to cut you off. I wanted to add on to what you said, because this is very heavy, deep spiritual warfare. And I did a lesson on this a few weeks ago. Babylon is the U.S. responding to Elder Apostle Tahar, but Babylon is the U.S. Thy sorceries and abundance of enchantments. Now I use this summary of this book here called America, Daughter of Babylon, and I just want to play this clip here. But in this book, it says that this book reveals that many of the symbols of the Babylonian religion that was created by Lucifer himself, king of Babylon, all right, which the king of Babylon today would be the Edomite, Esau. King of Babylon are displayed as American symbols throughout her capital. Its cornerstone to the founding of Babel is directly linked to the American capital itself, right? So let's just play this clip, all right?
Point.
Washington, D.C. is a super, super strange place. It was architected and designed by the orders of George Washington himself, who was a 33rd degree Freemason. The White House sits at the apex of an inverted pentagram. It also sits at the apex of a hexagram. And when you superimpose the upside down pentagram,
I'm looking for that picture.
you get a perfectly symmetrical Knights Templar cross. The pentagon is just a weird shape in of itself. People say that it's an infinite occult symbol because it's the center of a pentagram, and the pentagram shape is able to fit into it perfectly. The Washington obelisks measured exactly 55.5 feet in width, which equals to 666 inches on each side, are also 555.5 feet tall, which equals 6,666 inches.
Obviously, 666
Wow.
is the mark of the beast.
The Washington obelisk sits directly south from the Masonic Temple, which is 13 blocks north of the White House. The iconic Masonic compass symbol stretches from the White House to the Capitol. Perfect drawing of a compass.
That's so crazy.
These two pivotal landmarks and structures that kind of govern our society and our democracy. It's so weird.
See, there you go. So this society was established off masonry, the occult.
Right.
All right. Straight up wickedness, man. So like you was reading, if I can go back, and I just want to read this again. All right. This is Ephesians 6, 10 through 12. It says, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of Yahweh Shema Shai, which is his wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. All right. His deception. The point, verse 12, it says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. All right. These are spirits. Okay. And Esau changed the definition of that word principalities. It used to say a hierarchy of demons.
Yep.
All right. In the sense we live in in a democracy, right? It says, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places, man. Okay. So you got these top elites of Esau, the international banking families and whatnot. All right. Dealing with Amalek. All right. The 48er small hats, they're tapped into this left hand, man. As we heard in the video. You mind if I play this again, Op?
Go ahead.
All right. Because this is very serious, man. The spiritual war, the spiritual wickedness in high places is very real.
Yeah.
Right?
I want to add, when you see everything that's done here in America, everything that's pushed, everything is tied to demonic worship. From the smallest thing. This is why it's imperative for you Jakes out there, man, to know what these practices that you partake in, what they really go back to. Because see, Esau will blind you with words talking about, this is, American custom, this is family custom, this is whatever. But you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what this shit goes back to. So something as small as celebrating these holidays, man. All right. This alternative lifestyle, these things like this, these are all demonic practices that just have been dumbed down to make it modernized to where it's palatable to the people.
Right.
Because if you see how what was done back then, all right, it was they still do. Let me add it like this: they still do it behind closed doors, but to make it palatable for the public, they dumb it down.
Right.
Because there was a lot of blood drinking, human sacrifice, all right, filthy, abominable acts. But they can't push that to the public because they wouldn't want to do it. So they package it in a way that's more family friendly to make you do it, man.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Let's play that again.
After that, then what happens is the culture, the next three demons show up. The first is Asmodeus. He's the demon of homosexuality in men. Then there's the demon of Leviathan, which is the demon of homosexuality in men, but of the masculine kind. These are the women who are heavy on the heels, we would say. Okay. Then there is the spirit of Lilith, which is the more seductive form of female homosexuality. After those have gained ascendancy in a culture, which, by the way, if you look at the cultures, every single culture is pushed in this direction. Okay. So Historically, not just ours, but historically, this is always the progression. Once you have fornication, you end up with contraception, and then the upshot of that is homosexuality and then abortion. Baphomet is the fifth one, and he's the demon of child sacrifice. Abortion.
Shows you, man. It shows you that. Like I said, he mentioned, can you go back a little bit?
So after those have gained ascendancy in the culture, which, by the way, if you look at the cultures, every single culture is pushed in this direction.
All right, stop right here, Baba Shah. Because what he's speaking about is pretty much, you know, the downfall of these different countries or these different cultures going back in history, which leads to this precept in Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 9. It says, "The thing that have been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is what shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun." So these different practices that you're seeing taking place now, they were done back then. But like I said, it's done in a more, you know, palatable way to make you people do it. You know, the child sacrificing, all right, the, you know, human sacrificing period, all right, the you know, as I said, the whoredom, all right, because back then you had what you call a temple whores, man. You know, women who would dedicate their life to being a whore to please whatever god that they worship. That goes into Asherah worship, which goes back to Ishtar, man. You know, so all these different things that's being done were being done back then, and what makes this so heavy is that what Esau has done, he has went throughout these different captivities: Egypt, Babylon, the Medo-Persian Empire, you know, and he's took and molded all these different customs here in Babylon. This is why this place is known as Mystery Babylon the Great, man, the Great Whore.
Yep.
You know.
Let me read that real quick. Let me go there. Since you brought that up, you just read that Ecclesiastes, right?
Con.
All right. Let me get that in Revelation 17. And Lord's will, all those that are tuning in are with us. You know what I'm saying? We just bouncing all over the place, but we want to show you that this is real spiritual warfare out here, man. All right. Babylon, America has been given over to demons, man, to idol worship, to abomination, all that, man. This is Revelation 17 in verse 4. And it reads, Revelation 17:4, it says, "And the woman is America, was arrayed in purple and scarlet in color." All right, that purple going back to rulership, the scarlet color representing the Edomite, Esau, Edom. Okay. Red. It says, "And decked with gold and precious stones and pearls." All right, going into the wealth, right? It says, "having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication." Verse 5. "And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon." This is Mystery Babylon, America. Okay, the daughter of Babylon. Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. So pretty much, like this priest is going into all the idols of the ancient world are practiced here. They've been reinvented. Right. Okay. And they're pushed now, and they go under these modern names today.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the point is that Esau, essentially, he's mastered that left hand, man. Right?
Yeah. Because when you go and break down, when it says, can you go back to the scripture on the screen, the Revelation?
Gone.
When it says Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth, when you actually go into that in the Hebrew and add it up with the Hebrew characters, it actually equals 666, which shows you that this is Satan's kingdom. This America, it really is Satan's main, main place where he operates, because this place pushes forth these enchantments on the rest of the world, man. They mirror, things that Babylon does here, man. All right. And what is Babylon known for, man? The Mo agenda, all right, the child sex trafficking, the pedo ring, all these different things that pretty much has guaranteed Babylon, great riches, all right, and allure to the world. They get that praise and that fame from Satan. They get that power from Satan, man.
Yeah. Hey, this world was given over to Satan, man. Hey, the scriptures tell you that the whole world lieth in wickedness, man. Matter of fact, let's just get it. All right.
Mhm.
And then I'll go back to Jeremiah. All right, 1 John 5:19. 1 John chapter 5, verse 19. And it reads, it says, and we know that we are of the Most High, and the whole world lieth in wickedness. The whole world lieth in wickedness. All right. That word for lieth.
Strong's G 2749. Kaimai. Kaimai.
All right. For that word lieth is kaimai. And it breaks down. Definition C. Lies in the power of the evil one. I.e. is held in subjection by the devil. Okay. This world was given over to Satan. That's why when you read Matthew, the 4th chapter, when the devil tempted Yahushua, right? He said, look, all you got to do is bow down to me and I'll give you all this. Basically, I'll give you the world.
Right.
He showed him all the kingdoms. He said, look, if you just bow down and worship me, you can have all this. All right. Just proving the fact that this current world was given over to Satan, to the devil. All right. But anyway.
You know what's ironic about that too, real quick? Just wasn't during that time period when Yahushua was on the scene, when he in the Roman captivity?
Yep.
Which just shows you that was Esau, man. So Esau was the devil still.
God. This is Jeremiah 51 and verse 7. It says, Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, and Yahweh Shemahusha's hand that made all the earth drunken. You see? And how America is the headquarters, basically the chief of nations. America is regarded as the chief of nations. See, the whole world has gotten its influence from the madness that comes out of Babylon, man. The wicked wines of philosophies that made all the earth drunken. All right. Everything is pushed from America, from idolatry to Satanism to sodomy, transformism, right? Adultery. Okay. Idol worship. This is how Babylon has made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, you see? Therefore, the nations are mad, and because they've taken on the democracy and the Western way and the foreign policies and all of that, these other nations have lost their way.
Right.
Right? They have lost their sense of identity, if you will, man. And that's what happens when you take on the Western mindset, if you will. All right. Your society is destroyed. Okay. As we're going back to this video here.
After that, then what happens is the culture, the next three demons show up. The first is Asmodeus. He's the demon of homosexuality in men. Then there's the demon of Leviathan, which is the demon of homosexuality in men, but of the masculine kind. These are the women who are heavy on the heels, we would say. Okay. Then there is the spirit of Lilith, which is the more seductive form of female homosexuality. After those have gained ascendancy in a culture, which, by the way, if you look at the cultures, every single culture is pushed in this direction. Okay. So historically, not just ours, but historically, this is always the progression. Once you have fornication, you end up with contraception, and then the upshot of that is homosexuality and then abortion.
Can you stop it real quick?
Yep.
Is the fifth one.
Because as he was saying, with the ending of contraception, which we know that was during the time of the sexual revolution, when they brought in the condoms and birth control, that pretty much allowed these women to run loose, and pretty much increase their body counts. Was once again them participating in demonic worship, because to be a whore, that is ultimately you giving your body over to these idols, man. And then what you got, the sexual freedom, that's what caused the spike in the homosexuality. So there's always a cause and effect to how morality has fallen. And as he was mentioning, history has always showed forth the same pattern, man. And we always bring that point out when society takes a shift towards transformism, homoism, and all these different nasty movements. That always spelled the downfall of that society, because really what it is when the Most High sees that society is getting wicked to the point of no return, that's when he puts an end to it. And this is what we're seeing right now.
Basically, what you're saying is that the fruit of lawlessness brings destruction.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? And we have examples of that. All right. Remember the flood.
The flood.
Okay.
Sodom
You
and
have Sodom and Gomorrah. You see what I'm saying? These things, as like the scriptures say, these things were written for our learning.
You got Nineveh.
Yep, Nineveh. Yep.
And then
See?
like today's example, you got Pompeii. That was an example because they were taking part in the same activities as Sodom and Gomorrah and Nineveh.
Yep.
You know, when society goes to that point, what were they doing in ancient Egypt? They were bestiality, homoism, and different things like that. Rome.
Yep. Greece and Rome.
Yep. So none of these examples should take you by surprise when you see the direction that America's headed, man.
That's it.
And he's the demon of child sacrifice. You end up with contraception, and then the upshot of that is homosexuality and then abortion. Baphomet is the fifth one, and he's the demon of child sacrifice, abortion.
And you're seeing Baphomet being pushed heavy.
Yep.
All right. This whole androgynous movement, you know, the doing away with gender, and then ultimately with this whole pedo child, sex trafficking, man. You know, that's heavy Baphomet worship. You know, and it's funny because there's a video that's out where you have a dude break down the dollar. I think it was I think it's a $20 bill. And when you like push it together, you see a demonic face in the main part of it. But then when you go on the bottom of that picture, it's Baphomet on it, man.
Right. High level, man. You know, and that part of that sacrifice as he was going into, like you said, the sacrificing the children. This is why the kids are under heavy attack, especially in the schools. You know, the indoctrination, the books, you know, forcing the kids to, punishing parents that don't want the kids to be indoctrinated with this madness. Right. This is all part of that Baphomet spirit that's being pushed here, man. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then the elder Enoch, when he was down here, bring out the fact that Satan loves going towards the children, you know. So this just shows you what's going on, man. This is why what you see happening is happening, man.
That's right. Finishing it out.
Sacrifice, abortion. In our culture, think of this. They shot down the fornication laws, and so they delivered us into the hands of Baal. Then they had Roe versus Wade and delivered us into the hands of Baphomet. And then they allowed gay marriage. And so now our country politically is in the hold of the top 5 demons in hell other than Satan. They delivered us into...
Right. And that number 5 represents power.
Exactly.
So this place is under the power of the top demons of Satan, man. All right. Let me go to that PDF we had pulled up here.
I had a quick precept.
Yeah, you go ahead.
This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. I'm gonna start at verse 7. The point is in 9. It says, "For the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way." You want to say something?
Yeah. So this has to basically what we see in the world has to be this way because this is Esau's time. This is Esau's time to rule and forward wickedness on the left-hand side until what? Until the Lord takes him out of the way. All Esau is doing is fulfilling prophecy.
Exactly.
This is why the Lord is allowing this to happen in the earth, right?
Kind. Because as you said, the Lord has to have this come to pass because he's bound by his word. It's a precept. I always hear the brother Michael Olive from LA bring it out, but it's dealing with pretty much in so many words. It said dealing with the iniquity of the Amorites is not fulfilled yet. So dealing with that time period, you know, it wasn't time for the Most High to take the Amorites down. So he had to allow them to continue on and the wickedness that they was doing before, you know, he took them out. So it was a quota that they had to meet with that wickedness. And this is what Esau's doing, man. So the Most High had to allow him to do this so that when he meets that quota, the Lord is where he sees, okay, now it's time. That's when we're going to see him get taken out.
Hey, the sins of Babylon have reached into the heavens, man.
Exactly.
The Lord is just allowing the tab to build up until it's time for the tab to be paid.
That's right.
Right? Now, Slaki, go ahead. Slaki.
Verse 8, "Then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. And that's what's happening. That wicked is being revealed to show you that this Edomite, so-called white man, that he is the devil and he's pushing forth these demonic enchantments upon you people, and he's being consumed by the spirit of his mouth, which is the prophets, by us coming out here and exposing this man by doing videos like this, man.
Yep.
It says even him who's coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. So what tying all this back to what we were saying, this man is coming with the full power of Satan behind him, man. He's fully tapped in to that left hand power, and what you're seeing pushed forth is him expanding that power to make all these people idolaters, man.
Exactly. Hey, this is the seed of the serpent. These people are the descendants of the serpent, man. I want to say the wicked race of people. All right, the descendants of the wicked, if you will, going all the way back to the garden, man. Because remember, the serpent was a diviner, a divinator.
Nakash.
You know? Exactly, Nakash. You know, dealing with what? Enchantment, spells. All right, basically a witch. Yeah. Right. And Esau has embodied that same spirit, right? And he's on the earth forwarding these same ancient idols and demons today, man.
Because you know, it's good to tell you, he's more wiser than Daniel. He done a diligent search to see how these other heathen worship their gods, man. Hey, when they took over Egypt, all right, with Alexander the Crete, when he conquered those different lands, but especially when Ptolemy got a hold of Egypt. Hey, they had full access to them scrolls, man, to see what them nasty ass Hamites was doing, man. The Babylonians and whatnot. So what we're seeing is a culmination of all that mastering the one here.
Yeah, Babylon, right? So I want to just read a little bit this here. If you got a specific part that you want to read in this article here, but I wanted to jump down to the gods, to the false gods, all right? So let's just read here. It says in biblical times, it says Molech. Molech was a male false god of ancient Canaan. Asherah or Ashereth was the name of the chief female deity worshipped in ancient Syria, Phoenicia, and Canaan. The Phoenicians called her Astarte. The Assyrians worshipped her as Ishtar. She was considered the consort of Molech. Baal Peor was considered the sun god. The worship of Baal Peor involves two pagan gods, Molech and Asherah, Ishtar, or Ashereth, or Ashtoreth. Baal means lord or owner and refers to Satan. Peor means cleft of gapped, from the word PR meaning to open wide, and we're going to get into that, man, because it's that you kind of have an idea, all right, based off that definition of that word Peor. Nastiness, right? Meaning to open wide, right? Man, this place is filthy, man. It says God's warning against worshiping Molech, the Canaanite god of fire, is given in a physical or moral and spiritual context. Believing Jews and non-Jews living in the land of Israel were prohibited from pagan sexual worship of the Canaanite fertility goddess because God viewed such pagan worship as an abomination. Now let me jump down. All right, just getting more.
Majority of you can just read like the first two sentences in each section to show you what was being done, how they worship them guys.
Exactly. I wanted to jump down to Baal Peor.
Because dealing with Molech, just to summarize some of it, Molech was pretty much the god where you will sacrifice your children to. What they do over in the with the Bohemian Grove. All them children that go missing, they'll torture them, drink their blood, for that adrenochrome, and then they'll put them in that giant statue that looks like a bull or whatever, and they burn them, and they'll have the parties when they just dance around the children burning while they scream in the statue. And the modern form of that is also when you commit abortion,
right, and nothing new under the sun, as we read, right?
Exactly.
So let's just jump down to part 3, and like all those that's tuning in, you can read this on your own. I just wanted to touch on part 3, dealing with Baal Peor. All right. So it says Baal Peor, the Lord of the opening. Baal means Lord or owner and refers to Satan. Peor meaning cleft of gap. Of gap, the word Peor meaning to wide open, meaning to open wide. It says the cleft or opening to which Peor referred to was the woman genital part. The goddess Ashtoreth was the representation of the female genital part, while Molech was the representation of the male genital part. See that? All that nastiness, right?
What you see with the Masons, they put that the vesicle Pisces, which is representing, the vagina, man.
Yep.
Ashtoreth worship, that's really feminism.
Exactly.
The worship of the woman, because another name for Ashtoreth, when you go into that picture with the idols, goes back to Diana, which you read in the book of Acts, which Israel was heavily worshiping.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Right, going back. So it says the female genital part, while Molech was the representation of the male genital part. While all immoral sexual acts were considered homage to Baal. You see that? So everything that you've been seeing that's been pushing, dealing with so-called pride, this is all giving homage to Baal, which goes back to Satan. Okay? This is heavy idol worship that's going on right now, right under the people's nose.
Right.
Heavy sacrifice, man.
And
okay.
You could interchange that with Baphomet too, because it's pretty much the same shit.
Yes. It says that's where you get all the transformers and shit like that, right? Because that's like basically Baphomet is like a dual god, a dual idol, right? Both male and female. So it says the worship of Baal Peor was considered to be the most obscene. The temples had dedicated male and female prostitutes, priest and priestess, and anal and oral sex were practiced by same sex or opposite sex in order to commune with Baal Peor, you see? And that's what's going on in society today.
Right.
All right. All this lifestyle, this alternative lifestyle that's being pushed, this weirdoism, transformism, all this madness, this is all given sacrifice to Baal Peor. Okay. It goes beyond a lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? It's deeper than that. It's all spiritual. Okay. It says, while male prostitutes participated in the act, only the feminine principle was glorified. See, it was doing nasty shit, man. Okay. It says man had to sacrifice his manhood to join the act.
See?
Okay. Does that not sound familiar? What goes on with Hollywood and shit like that?
Yep.
It says man had to sacrifice his manhood to join in the act. In either case, he effeminized himself. This brought glory to Baal Peor because the worshiper had to abase himself both physically and spiritually before the cleft. The rites of Baal Peor only exalt the woman principle, right? Which is what the act of sodomy, basically. Yep. Right?
Yeah, because the man pretty much has to put himself down as a woman.
Yes.
This is why you see the whole thing with the they talking about eating booty and shit.
Right.
You got men talking about how they be having their legs up in the air and all this the basing of himself, the getting rid of the manhood.
Yeah, exactly.
Man. Because it's all really what it goes back to is all woman worship, man. All right. And that's pretty much what Esau has pushed forward, man. To emasculate the man and push forward the woman.
Man, let me get a quick preset real quick. I wanted to read these last little paragraphs. And that'd be it, just to give kind of some insight of the practice of the worshiping of these different demons and false gods. But let me get this real quick. This is 1 John. All right. Because the reason why we always go into these type of subject matters is because the scriptures tell us that, to make this place bare.
Yeah.
Esau would be made bare. How are the hidden things of Esau searched out? Obadiah. Right? We got to go into these things to show you the inner workings, the inner depth and wickedness of Babylon, of the so-called white man. All the shit that he does behind the scenes. Okay? Yeah. That allows him to maintain his power,
I was gonna say this is the why you see everything. This is the reason.
Exactly.
People ask why this happened. This is why, because it's heavy demonic worship that's being shoved down your throat.
That's right. This is 1 John 4:3. It says, "And every spirit that confesseth not that Yahweh Shah HaMashiach is come in the flesh is not of power." And this is that spirit of anti-Messiah, whereof you have heard that it shall come, and even now already is in the world. So the reason why I brought the scripture out is because that anti-Messiah spirit is already in the world. Okay, the demons, the outer worship, the pagan worship, you know, that spirit is already in the world and is being exercised, man. And this is what we're seeing. We're seeing the fruits of it now. Like Priest was saying, this is the reason, this is the result why the earth is in this current shape. Okay, those demonic forces, man. So anyway, let's read a little bit more. So it says here, sodomy is a sin similar to the meaning Beor, Balaam's father. The Hebrew word for Sodom literally means burning. Sodomy is defined as an oral or anal or oral copulation with a member of the opposite sex. It says copulation. Say again.
I would say they go off on the oral part because you
right
have oral with your woman.
Right. It says copulation with a member of the same sex or bestiality. The act is considered sodomy even when it pertains to the opposite sex. All right. It says heterosexual who participate in this act are sodomized by the very definition of the word. It wouldn't take long in reviewing the scriptures to understand how the Most High feels about sodomy. The Bible is not silent on this topic, and this is why they're trying to get rid of the Bible.
Right, because this is a touchy subject for them people out there because they can't get around it. The Bible, and it's not just in the Old Testament, it's in the New. It's all throughout. The Lord is not with that shit, man.
Last one here. It says it is idolatry. The word sodomite in the Old Testament, the word Kodesh, it says, which means male temple prostitute. I got to look that up. It says the female counterpart to that word Kedisha is often translated as harlot or whore. Some say that God only disapproves of this act as is related to temple prostitution, yet the act itself is an act of idolatry no matter who performs it. One does not have to be a temple whore of Baal for the act to be sinful. On the contrary, one becomes a temple whore of Baal by doing the act. All right, man. Last one here, it says, holding true to the definition of the word sodomy, these temple prostitutes will perform homosexual acts on anyone regardless of gender. The act itself was the means by which the participants were joined to or become one with Baal. The act itself was the means of worship by which Baal was sought to cross over and dwell with participants, man. So, man, this shit is just heavy, man. You got to go back and read this on your own. It's a nice little, article here getting into the those false gods, those idols, Molech, Asheroth, Baal Peor, right?
Yeah, because everything that's talked about in this article is literally being done right now.
That's right.
It's being promoted right now as good. But I got two precepts real quick.
You got it, brother. Bring them up.
This is first Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 27. For the worshiping of idols not to be named is the beginning, the cause, and the end of all evil. And this is the reason why Israel has continually went and came out of captivity. All right. And we went into captivity for worshiping these false gods, man, these idols. All right. We would, be in captivity. We would cry out to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and the Lord will hear our cries and repent, for putting us in captivity and deliver us. And then Israel will be all right for a little while and go right back into it. All right. And proof of that, this is the book of Psalms 106, verse 34. They did not destroy the nations concerning whom the Lord commanded them, but were mingled among the heathen and learned their work. This is why when we were brought into a land, the Lord commanded us to pretty much, destroy, all the, the heathen and all their, their stuff, man. We weren't supposed to keep anything that they had outside of, the women.
That's right.
It says, and they served their idols, which were a snare unto them. Yet they sacrificed their sons and their daughters unto devils.
That's right.
Innocent blood. even the blood of their sons and their daughters, whom they sacrificed unto the idols of Canaan. And this is the idols of Canaan that's being worshipped now.
Right.
And the land was polluted with blood. Thus were they defiled with their own works and went a whoring with their own inventions. Because, hey, Jake, it's not just Esau that's doing this. You got Jake that's high up in society that's doing this too. Because it's been brought out. The whole Epstein Island list, man. You got Jakes that's on that, on that list, man. You had the whole thing with these different church pastors like T.D. Jakes and, other people, Oprah, who are helping, Esau with this whole child sex trafficking ring, man.
Yeah. It's all organized. All right. They're all in it together.
Because they want to keep their power. They gotta indulge in it, man. They gotta make themselves filthy too. All right. They gotta eat the feces. They gotta drink blood and urine. All right, they gotta sacrifice, human beings, man. They gotta do this if they want to stay in that position that they're in, man.
Yeah, this is real, man. This is real shit, man. All right, this is how they maintain that power under Satan, man.
It says, "Thus were they defiled with their own works, and went a whoring with their own inventions. Therefore was the wrath of the Lord kindled against his people, insomuch that he abhorred his own inheritance, and he gave them into the hand of the heathen. And they that hated them ruled over them." So this is why we continue to fall as a nation to these other nations and be in captivity under them, man. Because the Lord was angered by our disobedience and our forsaking Him for these idols, man. These false gods.
Yep.
A little bit more.
I got one for you too. Go ahead.
It says their enemies also oppressed them, and they were brought into subjection under their hand. Many times did He deliver them, but they provoked Him with their counsel, and were brought low for their iniquities. And this is why this last time when the Lord put us under captivity here in America, He went the extra mile by taking His name from us, taking our identity from us. All right, because of this, and we're at the point now where Lord, He's only giving His name and our identity back to the elect. All right, the elect is the only one that's going to truly repent from worshiping these false.
That's right. I got something real quick. All right, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, Khan. This is Baruch. Just add on to what you brought out here. This is Baruch 4, verses 6 and 7. It says, "You were sold to the nations not for your destruction, but because you moved the Most High to wrath, you were delivered unto the enemies." Verse 7, the point. "For you provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils and not to the Most High." All right, so this is why we were brought forth into this low condition on the earth as slaves, man, scattered throughout the world, man, being regarded as nothing. Okay, we sacrifice unto devils and not the Most High, man.
That's right.
And until this very day, as the scriptures tell us, Jake is still given over to these idols, man, to the worship of these pagan idols, man. All right, these demonic spirits, and this is why we want to do this. So, yeah, exactly. You got anything else like you want to bring out?
Kanye, I got this in Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 22. Because just to add to what you were saying, hey, the Most High, this is why he's fucking Jake up like he is, man. Because our people are highly into this. You selling drugs, all right, you pimping your women, all right, you being a Mose, all right, all these different things you are given to idols, man. These are all idolatrous practices that you're taking part in, man. So this is Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 22. "Moreover, this was not enough for them, that they erred in the knowledge of the Most High, but whereas they lived in the great war of ignorance, those so great plagues called they peace. For whilst they slew their children in sacrifices, or used secret ceremonies, or made revelings of strange rites, they kept neither lives nor marriages any more undefiled, but either one slew another traitorously, or grieved him by adultery, so that there reigned in all men without exception blood, manslaughter, theft, and dissimulation, corruption, unfaithfulness, tumults, perjury, disquieting of good men, forgetfulness of good turns, defilings of souls, channeling of kind, changing of kind, disorder in marriages, adultery, and shameless uncleanliness. Because this is all accumulated within black culture. This is why Esau gave you what you know today as black culture, man. You know, and that's all tied to idol worship.
Yeah.
Read it again, verse
A
27.
culture of death.
Exactly. Death, and then also disrespecting of your power. For the worshiping of idols not to be named is the beginning, the cause, and the end of all evil. So I wanted to bring that part out again, man, because this is why our people are in this position. This is why 2/3 are going to be destroyed, because they refuse to turn from their ways, man.
Mm-hmm. They refuse to come out of the idolatry, man. You know, and that's going to be to the destruction.
That's right.
But now that was the that video that we showed was heavy. You know, the water for putting me on that video. Like, just to show you that the presence of these demonic forces are real. This place has really been given over to demonic warfare, man.
That's right.
Okay, this is really Satan's world, as we read, man, in 1 John 5:19. Job 9:24 tells you, well, that the earth has been given into the hand of evil, the hand of the wicked. You see what I'm saying? So this is the real deal. You know what I'm saying? And that's why Yahweh Shema Shai is going to come back and physically destroy this man in this kingdom.
That's right.
You know? So you got anything else, Ak?
That was the point.
That was it, man. Let's play this and we'll wrap it up. Y'all remember this?
Of humanity will die. They've already made up their mind what they're going to do. They have made up their mind. Putin called us satanic. He called us satanic. And he's correct. The people that run this country are Satanists.
Woo.
Straight to the point.
Straight to the point, man. You know? So we'll leave it there, man. You know? Those that are tuning in, you get it. All right? It's time for Yahweh Shema Shah to work.
Yes.
But they have made void that law, man. It's time for the Lord to get rid of this place. And we're in the time of the exposure. This is why it's coming out everywhere. All right. The pedo rings, the trafficking, the Hunter Biden shit, Joe Biden, the government, it's all being revealed, man. Jeffrey Epstein. All right. The rituals, the masonry, the occult, it's all being exposed to show you that this place is Babylon, man.
That's right.
All right. So, hey, Priest, you got anything else you want to say, or we can wrap it?
Nah, man. Just, hey, Jake, like I said earlier, man, look into the shit that you are doing, man, and make sure that you know where to go back to, man. You know,
right?
Hey, this is high level, demonic witchcraft that is being pushed upon us, man. But as we said earlier, there is no enchantment against Jacob, and the Most High is covering us from this shit, man. So, hey, Lord willing, and we're of the elect, the Lord is gonna cover us until the end, man.
That's right, my brother. That's right, man. That's it. So, hey, man, pray this lesson was edifying to all those that tuned in just now. We're going to close it out by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught us his truth. Double salutations to all you Akim out there laboring in the house of David, the elect. Let's pushing his word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom to you, brothers.
Shalom.
And shalom. Shalom. Boom.